So in this part of the training, I want to talk about where to train, how long to train, and what you're going to work on your next training session that you have with your dog. When you start training, all of your training really is based on your dog's level to focus. All of your training is based on what kind of distractions your dog can live with at this point in its training program. When you start, you want to train in an absolute location that your dog is comfortable being in without being distracted. If you have a house dog and he's lived in your house for several weeks, he's going to be comfortable living or working in his kitchen. Or if you have a dog that has a kennel outside and he's in your garage a lot, do your training in your garage because he's not going to be distracted there. We want to train in an environment that's not distracting to our dogs. Then we move on to how long you train. In the beginning, keep your training sessions short. You'll hear me say again and again, a 1.5 minute or a 2-minute training session is way better to have 15 of those or 10 of those in a day rather than one 15 or 20-minute session after you're done with supper at night. Try and break your trainings up into little segments, and there only needs to be a few minutes in between training sessions. I mean, you can have a training session and go in the house for a drink of water and come back out and do another couple minutes. Or you can have a training session and you can put your dog in a crate just for a couple minutes and then go get him again. But more little sessions, short sessions, are better than a long session. That's the important thing to do. And then, what do you train? Now here's something to think about. Let's say people have a dog that doesn't have a tremendous amount of food drive. What you need to think about is don't feed your dog before you go out and do training. If you're going to work on stationary exercises where you're going to work on a duration for the sit or a duration for the down, you probably wouldn't want to do that in the morning when you first take your dog out to go to the bathroom and you're going to do a little bitty training things here because the dog's going to be full of spit and polish and vinegar and he's going to want to do crazy things. So save that for later in the day. Think about what you're going to train as to how it fits into the daily life of your dog. Again, if you have a dog that doesn't have the greatest amount of food drive, maybe you only feed him once a day at the end of the day, and that leaves the whole day open. Or if you can't train in the morning, feed him in the morning, but don't feed him anything else for the rest of the day. So when you come home from work at the end of the night or at the end of your workday, you can take him out and do training there. Just think about how you're going to put things together. Think about it all the time, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every single one of us makes mistakes because we try and push the envelope as we go along. We're always looking for the edge of we got our dog to a point where the distractions are too hard for him. And I'll give you an example of that. We're going to start to train in our kitchen. We're going to transfer him out to train in our garage. Okay, we think he's good there. We're going to take him out into our front yard. Okay, he's doing pretty good there. So now we're going to take him halfway down the block, and then he blows his mind because he can't stand the fact that there's a dog behind a fence here, there's a playground across the street, and we have got him too far into distractions before he's ready for that. Our job is to get him ready for that, so back away from those distractions and then work on engagement until you can get engagement in an area where he was distracted before. That's when you know. You have to test, be aware that your test was too much, forget that plan, back up and start all over again. Go home, sit down, put your feet up, drink a beer, drink a pop, and think about the mistakes you made and think about how can I make that better next time? And you'll do okay.